All right, my friends, welcome to episode 195 of Prof and Dev Play Games. We are here. It is E3, and man, we are over the moon. I am the Professor Larry at Prof Plays Games, and he is SummerSpeak. Nope, he is Anthony at SummerSpeak. He's the dev, and man, let's just get into it. What are you excited about?
Cyberpunk. All time.
Fucking spring,
man. That reveal, man. That reveal. Yeah, date, sure. 2020 is what I expect. It's a little sooner, but there's still room where I'm like, it could be delayed.
Right, they could push it.
It could be a fall game.
Yep. But I would think that if they put a window, but they put a fucking date.
They put a date for Witcher 3, and they still delayed it 5 months.
Oh,
total.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like, it got delayed. It was supposed to come out... Originally, it was going to be, like, holiday, whatever year it was, the year before it came out, and then it got delayed till to February, and then it got delayed another 2 months.
So it came out March. Middle of May.
Yeah, or 3 more months.
Yeah.
Basically, they delayed it twice.
Okay.
And so, I mean, these are big games. It could be...
Course.
I think it still hits 2020 no matter what.
Yeah.
But it may not hit April.
I feel like they're always aiming for 2020 based upon the tabletop game. So
yeah. And sense. Someone pointed out they announced the game in 2013 and it's coming out in 2020. There are two versions of the Cyberpunk RPG. The first edition was just called Cyberpunk, and it was set in the year 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And then the more popular second edition was 2020. So
that's interesting.
It fits.
It's hard to
maybe they planned that all along.
Yeah, but it's hard to put your development around that, right?
Part of me wonders if that's why they announced so early, though.
Yeah, that's true.
The trailer in 2013, just to be like, yeah, we have it, and it's 2013.
Right, because they put that trailer out before Witcher 3 even came out.
Yeah, they just like we have this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it seemed odd to be out early. So that was a great reveal, and then I was watching it, and I've been kind of lukewarm on the game, but this trailer today on the Microsoft stage really was pretty exciting in terms of Brad. I watched it with my friend Brad, and we were talking about how kind of shit went crazy when he came out of the bathroom, and it's because you did this and that, your buddy, basically blew our spot up. But we're wondering if that was one branch, if you could be really stealthy and quiet, and not blow everything up, and go to that apartment, and that whole story play out differently based upon your choices.
Hard to say.
Yeah, no, it's hard to say. It's just conjecture at this point.
Yeah, I mean, because the previous trailer showed Jackie around for a while.
Yeah.
He was helping you out. He was alive, and this is a completely different mission than the previous demo.
Right.
But again, who knows how much that demo is part of the full story last year.
Mm-hmm.
If they're tweaking it. Because, I can... Well, we should just get out the big reveal of all of that. That is the what the fuck moment of the whole thing, and no way. Keanu Reeves is in the game. And everyone lost their shit when that happened. Have you watched the kind of funny games reaction?
No, I haven't.
Because it's hilarious.
Oh god, I can't wait.
They just explode.
That's funny. What was it?
My god.
What did they say from the audience? They shouted something at Keanu.
You're breathtaking.
That's it. You're breathtaking.
And then he's points. Oh god, he's such a nice person, just overall. If anybody hasn't watched Always Be My Maybe on Netflix.
Oh yeah, we have
Ali
that
Wong
queued up
and
next.
Rand Park thing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Well, he's in it.
Have you seen the trailer? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's amazing in it.
Awesome.
Oh my god, his chunk of the film is fantastic. And so I'm just you're in everything now. This is great.
What great timing.
The Keanu sans.
Yeah. That's
I don't know. I'm geez.
But he's playing a pretty major character, right?
Through, knowing, so when he's revealed, you that whole trailer goes on, and then I think your body just gets dumped in the trash yard, basically.
Right.
You're in the junkyard at the end there, looking into the city, and I assume your body just gets dumped there somehow. But you boot up, and that's where you're introduced to this new character, who's let's burn. Get up, we have to burn this city down.
Right.
And he's playing a character called Johnny Silverhand, which the people that make the Cyberpunk 2020 role-playing game tweeted that out. Like, they were the ones who confirmed that, like, no, he's playing this iconic character from the role-playing game.
That's crazy.
Who is, like, one of the most famous musicians in the Cyberpunk universe.
Mm-hmm.
And he has one silver cybernetic arm, which he does actually have in the trailer. But the thing is, he was alive in 2020, and he was not like super young. He was in his late 20s, early 30s. And he died in the 2020 storyline. Like, he's dead. Really straight up dead.
So, but is this a complete retelling of that storyline?
No.
Or okay.
No.
Right.
There's actually a new version of the tabletop game coming out within the before 2077 hits.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to bridge some of the storyline between it. It's going to be like set 2040s or 2050s
Mm-hmm.
to bridge the storylines. But I have the book where Johnny Silverhand gets completely mowed down by gunfire. But watching the trailer again, if you watch whenever you wake up, the main character wakes up in the junkyard, and when the character of Johnny walks in, he glitches, as in you can see through him.
Huh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, you can watch it, and you see it's there, and like you can see the sky through him. It's for like a half second he's glitching. He's that chip. He's on that chip you have.
Right, so he's not even there.
I assume Keanu Reeves' character, Johnny Silverhand, is going to now, like, is going to be like your AI companion.
It's freaking Cortana.
Because also in the story, he had uploaded his consciousness. His girlfriend is the one who made a program called Soul Killer. If I remember right, it's a story in the core rulebook. And it's basically can take consciousness and put it in the net permanently.
Mm-hmm.
And it's done to her. And then she... Alt Cunningham. She is basically a ghost in the machine at that point. But always was hinted at that Johnny made copies of himself. So he was effectively immortal.
We might see that bear fruit here then.
And then, follow me here on my like once this happened, I started...
I'm excited to follow along.
So I went to GOG's page because all the pre-orders are up.
Right.
I did pre-order the $250 collector's edition.
Holy shit.
I don't know if I'm going to get it, but I'm like, sure.
Yeah, you can decide later.
10 months to figure out if I want to spend $250 on a collector's edition.
Right.
But if there's a collector's edition I would spend that money on, this is probably it.
Yeah.
So at the very bottom of the game page on GOG, they like... Take the riskiest job of your life and go after a prototype implant that is the key to immortality.
That aligns pretty well with what you just told us.
That is all clicking into place.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't even know what the real story of this game is going to be.
Well, that's pretty exciting then. That's probably more exciting for you now.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And the music that's playing at the end when Keanu Reeves is coming on is an actual song to the lyrics that are printed on the front of the Cyberpunk 2020 rulebook. It's a Johnny Silverhand song.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, there's no actual song to it. It's just some lyrics printed.
Yeah, of course.
You never know what the tune is.
Right.
Well, I guess I know what the tune is now. And then the demo from last year, the 45-minute demo, they actually have parts where they're talking about Johnny Silverhand. And like that he's gone... So this is the weird part where it gets weird. In that demo last year, they talk about him only going missing a year ago. So I don't know how that's all going to tie together. Maybe they'll say that he didn't die originally in that story, that book that I have. They might retcon that. But I don't know how much of that demo last year was really part of the story or was just to show off the game.
Yeah, right.
Like they even said all that is subject to change. Right. So.
Well, yeah, if you're in active development, I'm sure that stuff you can edit and revise as you go.
Yeah, and who knows how, like what, and I'm sure they didn't want to reveal like the true story of the game back then. But they have whenever the main character in that one, when she was going around and like in her apartment and getting ready to go back out, there's a Johnny Silverhand song playing. all during that time frame. And they actually reference it with a narrator references that it's a Johnny Silverhand song and who this character is.
That's so crazy. There's so many small details in there for people who have followed the tabletop story versus people like us who are like, huh? Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, is that the hewing so closely, at least to so many of those touchstones of the story.
Yeah.
So people like you can look at it and say, damn, they're really hitting some of these things.
They actually care.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's amazing to me. And that's where I'm just like, hype level max. I'm so ready for this game. And the fact that I'm like, I really will just get to play my own character through this cyberpunk world.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I cannot wait for this game.
I just need to know if Siri is in this game somewhere, because it's been hinted at from Witcher 3.
I'm sure there's going to be some nods, potentially Easter eggs. Maybe she's just in the background somewhere.
I'm hoping she's part of like a side quest or something.
Could be funny.
It would be good. I'd love that. Man, the Microsoft conference, I feel like, as someone who is just like appreciates games and happy about games, I thought it was a really good conference. Like, just see so many great games, and even as an advertisement for Game Pass, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
In terms of trying to get people to buy an Xbox, I'm not sure.
I mean, well, this is the same place they've always been right now. They showed a lot of games, but they were like truly the only major hardware, non-Nintendo hardware, since Sony's not here.
Right.
So all these companies are, of course, going to them.
Correct.
To be on their stage.
But you can play them anywhere.
Yeah, most of these games are not exclusive.
Right.
And what we looked at when we saw some of this, what are the exclusives that we saw? We saw Gears 5 coming out. Yeah, Minecraft Dungeons, but I'm pretty sure that's PC too, of course.
Well, so Gear 5. Gear 5.
Everything is PC.
Yeah.
Like, they just want to sell games.
They do.
That's really what it comes down to.
Phil Spencer has said in an interview, he's like, Phil Spencer has said he likes to think of Xbox as a third-party developer. Like, he would put his shit on everything if he could, Sony included. So
I can totally see that, because again, I've said it before, that's where the profit is. The
right.
hardware is not profitable.
Exactly.
So if you can just make games and sell millions of copies of games, you're doing pretty well.
Right. Like, their boxes are a great place to play third-party games, and there are exclusives, and there were in this as well, but you can play them on PC. I feel like it was really good at selling the Xbox brand. Yep. And really, Game Pass, I thought they did a really good job with that. Game Pass is huge,
and especially now that it really coming the full PC side of it
right,
as well.
The ultimate
You're
side.
Just like, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
here's a bunch of games for how much does Ultimate cost?
$14.99
a month, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, for what you're getting there, it's really good.
Well, I mean, compare it to Stadia, which that's what other thing we got to talk about today. $9 a month or $10 a month to stream games that you have to buy, versus Game Pass, $15. Let's say you do the ultimate version, $15 a month, 100 games that you can download. You don't have to stream them, and then play them basically wherever.
Well, isn't there the Stadia? There's two different Stadia amounts.
There's a $10 one, and then there's a free one. So the free one is basically just that you can stream up to 1080p, and there are no free games like with like a PS Plus kind of thing.
And then Stadia, the $10, you get some free games.
You do like a PS Plus thing, correct? So, and we'll definitely talk about Stadia in a little bit, but it just seems like such a great deal for selling the brand of Xbox, selling their services. Like, I feel like they did a good job of selling that service. I don't see the need to buy the box, especially when they talked about Scarlet. It sounds super similar to PS5.
It is going to be completely and totally.
Yeah. So the exclusives are going to be on PC, and the exclusives, at least for me, for PS5, are just like head and shoulders above Xbox exclusives. So I don't know. Buying the box doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I will say, coming out of that, when we talked about exclusives, I am so bored of Halo.
You didn't like? You didn't like that last one?
I didn't like it at all.
Oh,
I was
man.
so bored.
I
don't know. I've realized after 3, I just do not find Halo a compelling franchise.
Yeah.
I don't find the character compelling anymore. Like, I even looked at the design. I was like, looking at one, I didn't know why it would be Scarlet. It didn't look amazing. It looked like something that could be on console today.
Well, and it's going to be.
I assume it, but it's also launching for Scarlet.
Correct.
As a launch title. So I was looking for, I'm like, okay, So is the goal on Scarlet then? It would look like this. They just want 120 FPS.
I was surprised that they said that, because now I feel like that's what people are going to be looking for. That seems.
I mean, it's a possibility. I think it's going to be really hard.
Exactly.
And it's not every game. I mean, ideally, then you would just get the bump that people like 120 would be rare, but you would get the bump where a lot of developers would do 60 at least, a lock 60, which would be fine. It feels great. But yeah, I don't know. I just got to Halo and realized how much that I've left that series behind and where it sits in my brain anymore. And so how much I loved one, like really loved one, really enjoyed one, and got progressively more disappointed as they went on.
Well, I've recently played through 1 through 5, and we've talked quite a bit about how the story just kind of like is to me. But I actually liked this trailer because I first of all liked the whatever the guy piloting the ship and that whole thing about his wife and kid actually made me like a little teary. And like I want to know who he is, and then all of a sudden Master Chief is just like basically a fucking split against his windshield. And at the end of Halo 5, Master Chief had been brought back to Halsey, I guess the woman who raised the Spartans basically, and they're together and kind of figuring out what to do next. And all of a sudden he's half dead in the middle of nowhere. I'm pretty interested to figure out how he got there. Now, considering the story that I've hold on a second. Considering the stories that I've seen already from Halo, I'm worried that that's not going to be interesting once I find out. But right now, looking at the trailer, I'm thinking, okay, this is piquing my interest. All right, go ahead.
I really just don't want. I would have been excited if it wasn't Master Chief.
Mm-hmm.
Like that other character, I was like, cool. What are you doing with this other character?
Right.
Like, oh, never mind. He's just a side character to get Master Chief to do what he needs to do. And that really disappointed me because that's where I'm at. I'm like, show me a different Spartan. Show me something else. I'm tired of Master Chief's story. Like when Bungie was straight up done with the series, I wish they would have just sunset Master Chief.
The problem, and I totally agree, because I thought that first character they showed, I thought was really interesting. I'm hoping they do something with him, but I'm sure that they won't. But in terms of Halo 5, the biggest criticism coming from Halo fans was that it spent too much time on Spartan Locke, and they wanted Master Chief. So they are going to go all out 100% on Master Chief this one.
There's so many other stories they could tell there, but
I know the whole universe. I'm sure there is, but they're absolutely gonna do Master Chief.
All Master Chief all the time.
Yep. Because the last one was mainly Locke, actually, not as much Master Chief. So I think that's where we're gonna go. But I'm interested. I want to see. It comes out in a year and a half, I guess. Scarlet launch title. Obviously, it's gonna be on Xbox One S and One and whatever else.
Or PC and everything.
And PC too. Yep.
And then Gears 5 was this year. September, I believe, was its release. I was surprised they didn't show more of it for coming out soon.
Okay, it comes out on September 10th. The whole conference kind of is epitomized by my comment about this game. Where the fuck was the gameplay?
I know. I mean, they showed like an artsy kind of trailer thing,
which was cool, I thought. But then I wanted to see gameplay back that up.
It was interesting, but I was like, and then they went into the stage, under the stage thing.
Yeah,
that was very strange.
It was very interesting.
I don't know who planned that. I was like, This.
It was like a living art or like an art installation or something.
Like I'm like, are we really under the stage? Did they do a little camera trick and then we're looking someplace else?
That's what I was thinking too. But then they pulled back out of it. I was like, oh, okay, it is under there. But there's no gameplay.
No, they're
it's
just
coming out in 3 months.
Yeah, and there's like that free,
like the horde mode thing and the
horde mode beta
the
weekend
escape mode thing, whatever. Yeah,
that's sometime this summer.
Right, but I don't understand why they wouldn't show something of the campaign. That's odd. Maybe they feel so confident about it. I don't know. That's weird. But I'm looking forward to Laura Bailey as Kate being the lead in this game. Yeah. So I need to go back and finish 4. My brother got a PS5 and then gave my mom the Xbox.
You mean PS4? Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
He already got a PS5.
Yeah, shit. PS4. Gave my mom the Xbox, so she's just hip deep in Fable. So my brother has not been able to go back and get the Xbox back. So a couple of things.
Looked amazing.
Fucking yeah, exactly where I was gonna go next. The boss design, like these huge insects and bugs and animals coming from the background and exploding into the foreground. Like that's something that wasn't really done in terms of like boss mechanics in Ori. So I like that move. It looks fucking great. I was just saying,
I don't even know how they're doing it. Like that's one of the games I look at, and I look at how good it looks and the art style, and I'm like, even as someone who's developed games and done programming and all that, I don't know. I have no clue how they're doing that at any kind of performance, because it looks incredible, and they're basically making magic in my eyes.
Yeah, it's fucking unbelievable. And I was just the whole time I was like, just give me a release date. Give me a release date. It's February 2020, which sounds great. Other one that piqued my interest besides Ori was, and I lost it. Oh yeah, of course. I am morbidly curious about Battletoads.
Oh yeah. I was curious what you would take on the art style.
I like it. I like that it's different. I like that it's very, very cartoony. It's just a little too, lacking of detail. Like it's doing a cel-shaded thing, but then the drawing itself is kind of lacking detail. It's going from more of a, just like a bastardized Ninja Turtle design or something like that.
Yeah. It really reminded me of Castle Crashers.
Yeah, exactly. The gameplay
really
for sure
went there, and well, even
the art style,
very kind of the art style, just that very minimalist detail.
Yes, exactly.
Very dark outlined. It is cel shading kind of, but it's very just cartoon.
Right.
I was surprised.
But then they switched to the speeder bike areas, and the art style looked very different to me. A little jarringly so. I was again surprised there was no release date on this game.
Nope.
Quite a few of them there were no release dates, and a lot of them there was no gameplay. At least this one did have gameplay. Phantasy Star Online 2. Did that do anything for you?
A little bit. It's been one that I've always been curious to play because I used to play Phantasy Star Online on the Dreamcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I really did it, and it very much is a Diablo-like game. It has put into place a lot of what we think of when we think of the looter shooters.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that design was done by Phantasy Star Online originally, and Phantasy Star Online 2.
Well, 2 is a game that never came west, right?
No, it has not come west, and it's been a long time.
Yeah, right.
And never come west, and so I'm excited because it's coming to PC. And I can at least give it a shot. And I think it's free to play.
Yeah, it is free to play, which is surprising to me. I
guess
it's
I'll
going
just
to be
be able
powered
to
by
give it a shot,
microtransactions.
Which is great. Clearly, it's doing something right that it's been around that long.
Yeah. Another one Sorry, go ahead. No. Were you done with that one? Or
yeah, I'm done with that one.
Okay. Another one that stood out to me. Forza Horizon 3 did an add-on that was Hot Wheels, and then for Forza Horizon 4, they're fucking doing Lego.
Lego.
It looks so good. Oh my god. Just
next week.
Yeah, so soon. That's really smart because it's a Game Pass game. Obviously, this add-on's not Game Pass, so that you have to buy this. But it looks fucking fun as hell, and it's just Forza with a fucking skin on it, Lego skin, but it looks fucking great. I was really excited to see that.
I wonder what the marketing legal mess it was to get that all worked out.
Oh god, probably
because they want the Legos to look like real cars.
Yep.
And then so those Lego versions have to be approved by Lego, which is probably easier to do. But then you also have to take the Lego version and get it approved by the car manufacturer.
Exactly. Well, like that car they had on stage, the McLaren. Yeah. I was like, well, that car's not moving. There's something weird about that car. Then the lights come up and it's fucking made out of Legos. Oh, so good. I really just liked this conference because it's just game after game after game.
It's so much.
And I'm not, as a person who's not buried hip deep in the Xbox ecosystem, like I have one, I can play these games wherever I want to. I'm just seeing games I want to play. And I'm sure I was looking at Minecraft Dungeons. Is that something that your kid would want to play?
Oh, I'm sure my son would be all over that.
Yeah.
He just had his. We just did his 9th birthday party.
God, he's
on Saturday.
9.
Yeah, he's 9. Tuesday he'll turn 9.
Oh man.
He's halfway to being
out the house.
Legal adult. I'm not gonna say out of the house. We'll see. I'm not one of those person that will kick him out when he turns 18, but
You're
there's a
doing
good
16.
chance.
Just kidding.
There's a good chance that he could be moving out himself
Yeah.
for
College and stuff.
college
Yeah.
and stuff.
God.
But still, I'm old. 9 years have gone by. This is not okay.
Yeah.
But he has had his party. He got so much Minecraft. It was a Minecraft party for one.
Yeah, I saw that cake your wife made.
Yep, it was pretty cool. We're still eating that cake. It's a lot of cake.
Yeah.
But man, he got Minecraft Lego sets, metal, like little Minecraft figures, a whole bunch of those, and like Blind by Minecraft stuff, Minecraft card game.
Oh, jeez.
He is
Overload.
all in on the Minecraft. He loves
That's great.
Minecraft so much. And so this game is right up his alley, and it'd be great because I could actually. It's an action RPG where I could play with him because I can't let him play Diablo yet.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, this is going to be a lot less dark, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
so
that's awesome.
that's where it intrigues me. It's a game that I can play with him, and it's a genre that I like as well.
Yeah, of course.
So it will have mechanics that will keep me ideally interested and having a good time.
Right.
There
was a game later that when Phil Spencer was in the middle of the audience, kind of really hyped up this legendary PC game, and I was by what was the studio? Can't remember. Something I never heard of. And then it was Crossfire X. What the hell is Crossfire?
It's basically Counter-Strike from Korea, South Korea.
Oh.
It's super popular Asian Counter-Strike game.
Got it. All right. Then that market's probably going crazy.
Maybe.
About
I don't
this.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a super weird trailer. I don't know.
It was. I was like, what kind of game is this? Is this an RTS? Is this
Counter-Strike
fucking movie?
style.
I was confused. And then we got to talk about the reveal for Elden Ring. Fucking
Oh yeah.
Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin. The fucking
Another
next one
thing that
from Software.
Martin can be doing to not write an actual novel.
Yeah. Well, you know, the consulting was probably a couple years ago, right?
Probably.
I would assume. Right at the point where he had scrapped the Winds of Winter completely and started from scratch all over again. Like, really?
He probably really just did not want to be thinking about Game of Thrones at that point.
I think so. Maybe he just needed like a mental break, which maybe would make the book better eventually. But it's just like, what? But I like the trailer. I thought it was, I don't know,
it doesn't
tell
show
you
a lot.
much. Yeah, exactly. Just kind of set as like a tone piece that I thought was interesting.
It was a longer and had more going on than the Sekiro trailer from
Oh yeah, totally.
E3 last year. Like, I can that's what they do. They just set tone with these initial trailers, and
Right.
But then, if you look at it, Sekiro came out a year and a couple months later.
Right.
So, can we expect a similar cadence on this?
I feel like that's pretty realistic.
Like fall 2020, end of summer.
I feel like it's a
beginning of
launch window for the new consoles.
Oh
I feel
yeah,
like,
totally.
I feel like there are several games that are trying to hit that. Like that's what this whole conference felt like, was like just kind of holding pattern for next gen.
Yeah.
So, which is fine. You know, I still think there's a lot of life left in this generation, but we're moving in next fall, I guess. Although I'm not sure when I'm going to jump in.
We'll see. I mean, you have the Pro.
Right.
I'm curious now
Yeah.
when Sony decides to talk about the PS5 more. Because Microsoft has done all this, Sony missed here. When does Sony just open up about what the PS5 is?
Yeah,
I think they're going to do it, and they're going to do it optimally to put pressure on Microsoft.
Right.
Because Microsoft didn't say a whole lot about
They did
Scarlet.
not.
They
did
like
not.
hardware. They were very, it's using GDDR RAM, GDDR6. It's all the stuff that's like, okay, it actually sounds like it is very closely architected to how the PS4 was architected now. Because the Xbox One didn't. Let's go back to this. The PS4 invested in the shared GDDR5 RAM between the GPU and just the system memory. It was all just GDDR5. Well, Scarlett's using GDDR6 shared memory. Same way the PS4, because developers liked it. It was great. Memory bandwidth was insane, and it helped a ton. Made things much easier and faster. So sure, things will be slightly different between the consoles, but they're gonna be so similar.
Well, if that's true, then we really have a good speed comparison, because they said in that, the one thing they said that I thought was really concrete was that the CPU is 4 times more powerful or 4 times faster than the Xbox One X.
Yeah, and
CPU.
that's probably likely, and it's an AMD, and it's probably very similar. It's built probably using the exact same architecture, at least family of architecture that the PS5 is going to use.
Right.
The only difference is probably going to be what the clock speeds are going to be on these things,
Yeah.
and like very minimal differences. Both going to be AMD. They're both going to have AMD graphics cores on them.
I think the speeding up of loading times is really interesting. They hammered on that too, just like
They did
PS5
hammer on
did.
it.
But the thing that they mentioned too that I didn't thought about before is it's a way to visit your old favorites, where think about loading times in old games that you like.
Yeah.
They might be gone or
They might be.
significantly reduced.
They have to be careful with that, because I know a lot of games program the way they're programmed.
Mm-hmm.
Expect certain of those delays to be there.
Otherwise, the fucking thing's gonna break.
Uh-huh.
Oh shit.
That's why it's hard. That's where emulation can be hard.
Yeah.
We can go back to the story of PS1 emulators having a hell of a time with Final Fantasy VIII, because Square coded it to the PS1's hardware very specifically, and specific loading times.
Well, no wonder they can't bring that game anywhere else then.
I mean, if they had the
besides
code,
the source code, yeah.
But there was it was a hard game for emulators to get right for a long time, because of how it was keyed in to the actual rate of a lot of different components in the PS1.
Right.
And if your emulator didn't do it perfectly, it wasn't unplayable, but you would get really weird transitions to cutscenes and things like that. So yeah, I'm sure they have something they're working on there to hopefully fix that. Maybe it'll just mean that the bigger, just straight load times are better. Like, I hit play and I want to enter the game, and you're there. Like,
that makes sense.
But we won't screw around with what's expected in the
elevators and whatever else in the game.
Oh my god! Think of how fast Mass Effect could be.
That's the one thing I keep thinking about is Mass Effect.
How much conversation you would miss.
How it would shorten the game so much.
It would.
Oh man. So overall, I was excited to watch the conference. I thought it was good. I'm not an Xbox, super fan or whatever, so I wasn't like rooting for it to like save the Xbox box itself. But in terms of the services, I thought if Sony doesn't have some sort of Game Pass ready for next gen, I think they're missing an opportunity.
Yeah. And I bet they will, actually, or something, because Sony has all the pieces there to do it.
Right. But do they have the will?
That's the thing. Do they have the will or not? Do they feel like that's the right thing to do?
Right.
Because Sony, like Nintendo, in this very Japanese, still sees themselves as strictly a hardware company as well. Like, they wouldn't jettison their hardware.
Right.
You're never going to see Sony games on PC, first-party Sony on PC. Because they don't care about just selling games. They also care about selling the hardware.
Right.
Nintendo very much the same way. So it's a very... Their approach is going to be different, I'm sure, in that regard, because they want to sell you consoles, set-top boxes. And I think Microsoft just feels like from this, they just want to sell you games.
They just want to sell the games. They're spending so much on development of games. They just want to sell those games. I think that makes sense.
And the thing is, you could see it in a couple other games here. They were putting the Powered by Azure, which is their Amazon Web Service
right
competitor, and that's a huge market, huge, way bigger than selling some consoles.
Right.
So I feel like Microsoft just has, as a bigger technology company, has its eyes on a much different market than we just care about a box.
I think maybe they saw something in the market that other companies are probably coming to now. thinking about Apple's event a couple of days ago, where they basically said, yeah, you can use Xbox controllers or PS4 controllers with our Apple TV or whatever the fuck thing they have, instead of making their own proprietary controller and kind of opening things up a little bit.
Yeah, because again, where they make the money is not for Apple. They just want more people to buy apps.
Right, to buy the apps on their thing. So if you can't buy an app on their thing because you don't have their controller, then they won't. And I feel like people are, younger people specifically, I feel like an old person saying this, but are just more and more like platform agnostic. They just want their thing where they're at.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's how I feel. So, speaking of want your thing where it's at, Stadia had their thing come out on the 6th. True. And I'll start out right now. I pre-ordered simply because it's not going to charge me until it ships, so I can decide later. But I am pretty enticed by the fact that I can play a game on my TV, and then when my wife wants to switch over to watch something or whatever, I can load up my laptop and open a Chrome browser and keep going if I have good internet, and then bring my controller to my work and play there.
Yeah.
Just pick up and go wherever I am. And the price, obviously, it's the only way you can get in the Founders Package, like $129 or something like that. The only way you're going to play Stadia this year, and that price is getting you a Chromecast Ultra and their controller. So it's basically just paying for the hardware. And then you get 3 months of their Pro service, which comes with, at this point, Destiny 2 kind of complete edition. You'll get free games later, but then also 3 months to give to a friend. And that's the only way that you get into play this year. And I don't know. What'd you think about their reveal?
Oh, I thought it was fine. It didn't entice me. I'm not going to pre-order it or anything, but I'm going to continue to watch it if it's something that would be worthwhile for my lifestyle or not. And I'm still very curious how it actually handles some of those much more actiony games that they showed off. Like I'm like playing
or a fighting
Kombat.
game.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat. They showed. I was like, how does even 50 millisecond lag feel in that game?
Yeah, that's not going to look good at all.
Like just in general, like. So I'm just curious. Like I'm very curious where the technology sits. Google as a company, they have the network to at least try it. So,
well, and they've limited by doing the Founders Pack now, they're really limited to people like the enthusiasts, the people who feel like they have like the good internet to do this. Like when I did the speed test, it was like I clear past that speed, so it should theoretically be good at my house. I don't know. I thought. I was surprised by the price point. I was also surprised that there's, $10 a month is basically like you get 4K streaming, and then you also get 1 or 2 free games a month, kind of like PS Plus or Xbox Live. But then there's the free version. You pay nothing except for buying the game that you want to play, basically, which I don't understand that. How is Google using their servers to do this, but then charging people nothing?
Any of these tech companies, they don't care a lot about making profit at the beginning.
Yeah, I guess
profit is something you get to later.
Yeah, they just want people in the door.
Yep, basically, it's very, very much what the plan is, as far as I can tell. There's still a part of me that sits there and go that buying games through it doesn't sit well with me. Like.
Because you don't own it, or
it's the owning thing. And even though I know, like Steam, I don't own my games, and it's like whenever I think about it, I do not like. There's probably a reason why on console still I buy physical copies.
Yeah.
Because there is a part of me that's like I like the feeling that I actually own the product, not just a license to use the product.
Right, and then in 20 years, if you want to go back to play that game, chances are you are more likely to be able to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey than I am, because I have digital, and who knows what's going to happen to that in 20 years.
That's true.
So I think about that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge art preservation thing going on there, too.
That's the thing, is the preservation. Like, to go back to my NES or Super Nintendo right now, I can play all those carts right now. I don't necessarily have a TV that I can hook up to easily, but I have the physical media. So, for a long time I did the same thing, but then my significant other was like, that's a lot of games and a lot of space. Can we reduce the clutter? It's like, okay, I'll start buying more digital, which is part of it. Then also there's just tons of cheap sales, but there's the same thing for physical too. So it's
just one of those things. I still buy stuff digital too as well, but it's not. I've now found, like, for me, it's just not as easy. It's not my initial reaction just to get something digital.
Right.
I actually have to do the thought in my head of, like, okay, how do I want, like, if I lost this game, I couldn't play this in 10 years, is that okay? That's usually what I ask myself.
Correct. Yep, exactly. How did you feel about that reveal trailer, I guess, for Baldur's Gate 3?
Amazing.
Nice.
It's so creepy. God, it's disgusting. Mind flayers are the worst.
Is it going to be 5e?
Yeah, they've confirmed
Nice.
that. There's been a lot of additional interview articles that came out. Game Informer had one, and a couple other places. And so they talked about that. Yep, it is full in 5e. It's the first 5e game.
Right.
What else did they talk about? No real release date. It's just going to be huge.
What do you mean it's just going to be huge?
They're like, it's going to be, they want it to be the biggest D&D game ever made.
So they're going to take their time, basically.
Yep, and they said it will come out when it's ready.
Yeah.
Wizards doesn't want to rush it. They don't want to rush it. So,
well, I like the idea that Wizards is kind of taking the Marvel Games approach to go and find a good developer that fits their IP and says, just make the best thing you can do.
Yeah. Well, now that the rights are back with Hasbro, Wizards, like, I don't know at what point they got unfucked from whatever company called itself Atari. And because Atari was the publisher for the Baldur's Gate games and Neverwinter Nights, and for a long time just had the D&D video game rights.
Huh.
And at some point, like, the name Atari was just used as a label for other companies that bought and sold. Like, so that's why I say I don't know who actually became Atari at the end of the day when they were putting these games out, but at some point Hasbro got the rights back. Probably within the last 5 years, probably right around when 5th edition was coming out to begin with, maybe a little bit after. Because there was a real drought of D&D CRPGs there for a while.
Right. I feel like the Pathfinder.
Pathfinder, there's the couple. There's Pathfinder,
Kingmaker.
Yeah,
that's it.
I mean, that's why you get things like that using Pathfinder system. You get things that are Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2, because they just have to do their own thing because they can't make a D&D game that they want to make.
Right.
You get
that they desperately wanted to make.
You get Pillars of Eternity games.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like, you get these other CRPGs because they can't be D&D games.
Right.
But clearly they figured it all out and are now actually going to be making them again. And
man, that's going to be
Larian is probably the best company to be making it.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the story in that reveal where it's like, I went to them asking if we could make that game, and they're like, no, nah. And now they're like asking them, can you please make this game for us?
You should watch. They already did a community update 1.
Already?
Community update 1 from Larian. It's hilarious. It's ridiculous and so worth watching. It's like 10 minutes. And,
awesome.
God, the Larian guys are such dorks. In the best way.
I can imagine.
They're such nerds.
That's great.
I love them so much. I highly recommend that. So that reveal was great. It was odd that it was there, but cool.
It made sense it was there for me if it truly is Stadia and PC only, because where else would you do it?
So I watched the thing today. The Larian guy was on stage getting interviewed, and he turned bright red after he said, when it comes out for consoles.
Oh,
he quickly caught himself, but I'm pretty sure the damage has already been done. So but maybe he slipped and said it, and now people are going to say, oh, it's coming to consoles, and it never was. Or it's just something they were wanting not to announce until much later.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of felt like a timed exclusive thing.
Yeah. It's probably coming to consoles. I mean, Original Sin 2 did. And to make
of course,
the money that you need to make on a game of that size and sell the number, it needs to come to consoles too. You can't just put it out on PC.
Well, and it's an interesting thing to like sell Stadia, like this kind of exclusive, if that exclusive isn't going to come out for years after Stadia launches. So no one's buying Stadia now for that game.
No. I mean, it's still probably years before that game's coming out.
Right, exactly. Which is great, because it'll take me that many years to play Divinity 2.
There you
go. Real quick, before we move on to more news, I want to give away a game on Steam. It's Gremlins Inc., and it's M0R6QTJL2IGG6DR. So enjoy that game. Other stuff on the Stadia reveal is stuff we've seen elsewhere.
Yeah.
I don't think there's like one Tequila Works game that was Guilt or something, Grift. I don't remember what it was called. That's an exclusive game, at least for now, I guess.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was fine. It was.
Yeah,
I
mean, it was.
The promise is interesting, I think.
Yeah. I do feel like it's already faded though.
Yeah, because this is a
After
crazy
today,
freaking weekend.
You're just like, boom, okay, never mind. Let's move on to the next exciting things.
Yep. Yeah, that's why it's smart for them to do it a couple days before, just to kind of get that news cycle and get those pre-orders, I guess. And then, you just have to prove yourself when it comes out. Like, no one's really going to care until you come out and just word of mouth is like, this is fucking great.
Yeah.
If I have this great internet and it's not great, if Brad has this great internet and it's not great, then people are going to find out pretty quickly that it's not great. So, and, Google sticks with some things and doesn't stick with other things. So we'll see how this goes. Today, after Xbox, was Bethesda, and you and I both watched some of it. And I kind of want to start by talking about Fallout 76, which I'm really glad they started with. And they're basically like, yo, we fucked this up, and we've been working hard, and here's this new DLC drop, Wastelanders, which has humans and quests.
Correct. It's like, I mean, I'll wait and see.
Yeah.
That's where I am with the game. Like, if this comes out and it's like, oh, this is actually really cool now, there's a cool storyline to follow, and it's fun and something to do, I might be tempted to play it. But it's still a wait and see. Like, I'm not just gonna blindly be like, yeah, I'm going into the game. So we'll wait and see. Yeah.
There is a free trial this next week, from the 10th to the 17th, but it does not include that one, of course.
I know. I might pop in just to see what it's like, because it's free, and why not? And then they're doing their Battle Royale thing.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that. Yeah, Nuclear Winter or whatever.
Yeah.
The Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I initially groaned, and then I thought, well, this is kind of a Fallout take on this whole thing, so...
Yeah.
Okay.
But everyone gets Battle Royale now. You get Battle Royale?
Not Splatoon.
And you get Battle Royale?
One? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you don't know yet. Maybe that's coming.
Maybe on Tuesday.
That's just not true. Because I saw the news that they are winding down support for Splatoon 2.
They are. They have their last Splatfest coming up, so yeah, this is sunsetting.
Yeah, so there's not going to be anything like that. But who knows? Maybe Splatoon 3.
Maybe. What else on Bethesda that stuck out?
Nothing that was the Elder Scrolls stuff. I mean, Blades is coming to the Switch. Enjoy the most boring thing ever.
I scrubbed through Blades, so I didn't even see that.
Yep. It's coming to the Switch.
Great.
I assume they've actually done, the reason why they're bringing it to Switch is they've done really well on with like Fallout Shelter. I think has done really well on the Switch for them.
Yeah, so that would make sense.
There is an audience for free to play. There's the dude that came on stage and talked about shooting Nazis constantly in VR. It was hilarious. There's a Wolfenstein VR thing coming out. Did you see that one?
I didn't. No.
Yeah. It was a Wolfenstein Cyberpilot.
Oh shit. Okay.
VR game coming, and oh my god, it was just the dude just kept saying like, "Yep, shoot Nazis in VR," and I'm like, "You are so on brand. It's great."
That's awesome. Anytime you get a chance to shoot a Nazi in VR, you should take that opportunity.
Oh my god. A disappointing thing is they're bringing back Commander Keen.
Okay, Brad texted me about that, and I was like, I don't even know what that is.
Oh, really?
Who is that?
I used to play it on... God, when was I playing that?
Oh, that's the game? It's called Commander Keen?
I was playing it in, like, 7th grade.
Okay.
Like, I would finish whatever thing we would do, and I know the computer at the school in the back of our classroom, you could request time on it, and they had Commander Keen, and I used to play Commander Keen. And it was an original 2D platformer thing. A kid who made up his own Flash Gordon imagination and everything.
Yeah.
And you're playing through his thing, and now they're making a weird puzzle-ish game, mobile puzzle game of it.
Oh, it's for mobile?
Yeah, I am not. I was just like, cool. It's literally just digging up an old, because id made it. Id made a lot of games before Doom.
Right.
This is one of them.
So
And
they're just mining their IP catalog.
basically, and it's just, I'm like, this just feels like a cheap mining of IP.
Yeah.
Like, why this? It's not even completely true to the games that were. So
yeah.
it just feels more of a let's put a somewhat known IP on top of this mobile game.
Right.
So that kind of didn't feel great. What else did they show? They showed 2 new games, straight up new games though.
Yeah, this is the part of the conference I didn't watch yet, so you're going to have to let us know what they were.
There was Ghostwire Tokyo.
Oh yeah, I saw that part. Actually,
I saw that
was
one, which I don't know what the game is actually going to be, but holy shit, was that trailer cool!
Yeah, another Tone trailer from E3.
Tango Gameworks was making
it.
The
Evil Within.
Yep. And it was really cool
Miyazaki,
again.
Right?
Yeah. I'm ready to. I will at least be paying attention to whenever it comes out. But I mean, there was no release date. It was a Tone trailer, no gameplay. So a year and a half, 2 years from now, will come out.
Probably.
Yeah, probably next gen. And then they showed off Arcane Lion's next game, which I believe Lion is French. France?
Oh, is it Lyon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The town in France. So that part of Arcane, called Deathloop, which is a time loop action FPS game.
Oh yeah, that subgenre. That'll chestnut.
It was definitely very watching the trailer going what the hell. But it could be really cool. It's the type of what the hell whenever you see Portal for the first time.
Yeah, right.
If it's done well, this could just be crazy cool and build on itself and be these just neat, very neat levels. But
right.
It was just a trailer, no dates. Yeah, no real information. That's Bethesda. Not a whole lot of information. And then have Doom Eternal, which has you fighting angels, not just demons.
Oh right,
you get to go to heaven.
Nice.
I
guess that's the place you naturally would take that game.
Actually go after hell. I mean, Diablo did it, so.
Yep.
But they did have I didn't get a chance to really see it. I just saw stuff talking about it. There's going to be a new multiplayer mode where it's a 2-player controlled demons versus a 1-player Doom soldier.
Like an asymmetrical kind of multiplayer?
Yeah, an asymmetric multiplayer thing going on.
Interesting.
I mean, sure. We'll see. And that's the one they dated for fall, November.
Right.
So
it's a stacked fall too. Stacked fall, stacked spring.
They're not. Things are going to move. And I also think a lot of these companies don't want to put all their games out right next to each other.
No, and we get the Titanfall Call of Duty shit that happened.
Yep. It's just who's going to blink is basically it.
Right. There's just no space really anymore.
No.
Everything's full. I think summer, right now, is probably the only time. But yeah.
Yeah.
The whole year is full.
But yeah, because we finished this, and at the start before we recorded, I told you that Square announced the release date for Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Wait, they announced a release date?
Yeah. March 3rd, 2020.
Oh, I thought you said they were going to... Oh, wow. Okay. You told me off mic, but I completely missed that. Okay.
That's March 3rd, 2020 is what they announced as the release date for the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Why would they announce that before their conference?
Because they put a trailer out at the orchestra tonight.
They had a Final Fantasy concert tonight.
Right.
And they showed this 1.5-minute trailer that's on YouTube now. That went up. They posted, and it had the release date at the end of it.
That's crazy.
But it's not like a ton. The trailer's pretty. It's like really. It's short. It's not showing a whole lot more.
Yeah.
But they said to expect a much longer trailer and more detail tomorrow night at their actual conference.
Right.
But the information that they put out, they put like a press release out, makes no mention that this is part 1.
It doesn't?
Nope, it doesn't talk about anything episodic or anything in their text that they gave to the press.
Shit.
So I'm like, but they still haven't shown anything outside of Midgar.
Right. That's
weird. So there's part of me that's like, this still has to be somewhat episodic. Or
that's all the rumors that I've been hearing from
people who are hearing. Because there's no way
rumors.
that they've finished this whole thing in the time. They've taken it back.
Since they rebooted it, from CyberConnect,
No way.
No. I mean,
not at the quality level that they're showing there. That's just it's too insane. There's so much content they would have to make.
I was gonna say, I guess it's nice that you have the story laid out and everything, but you have to make all those assets, and it's a totally different system. I don't know. Okay. I guess tomorrow night will be pretty interesting at Square then, which last year was not. So.
Yeah, maybe they've learned. Because they're also showing Avengers.
Right.
Because the big LA Convention Center has a giant Avengers logo on top of it right now.
Yeah, I think they learned from last year where they did some trailers on their stage or whatever, but they put those same trailers on lots of other stages too. So just seeing the same thing over and over again. This time they have done nothing. So hopefully they'll pop tomorrow night.
I think that's it that I saw.
Yeah, there's one more Microsoft announcement that's going to happen on Tuesday at 9:30 probably on the Nintendo Direct, and that's about Banjo-Kazooie. But other than that, I think Microsoft is done.
Are really sure about this?
I'm less sure now. If it doesn't happen now, it's never happening, basically. So we'll see. So that's the beginning of E3. We haven't talked about what we're going to do for these. We're going to do a mid-week episode or wait till next week to recap. So expect either a midweek or our regular next Monday episode. We'll
discuss.
We'll discuss off mic and figure that out. But why don't we talk about what we have been playing? And I think I finally have been playing a bunch of other games. But what about you?
I've played effectively 2 things. I'm in Hades, or the whatever the hell the second episode of Assassin's Creed is.
Right. I'm
not in Hades is in the place. It's the underworld. Hades is the god. And wow, is the tone so much different than part 1.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. You are in the underworld. It's dark. And the mechanic again, it's some new mechanics, using mechanics from this is Assassin's Creed Odyssey for those listening. The mechanics that they are reusing or using in interesting new ways as the mercenary stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a whole kind of tweak to the mercenary thing going on in the underworld.
That's interesting.
But it's a whole new big map, just like the Elysium map. There's another big map that has three kind of zones to it, and yep, it's Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's enormous. And all I can think is, the next one, whatever the next one is, it's going to be the end of this DLC. And for the game, it's going to tie out. This is just too big.
You don't see anything popping tomorrow at Ubisoft's conference, or not tomorrow? Is it tomorrow? Yeah.
Is it tomorrow? It could be tomorrow. I was looking at what
I think it's tomorrow at 1.
Be. Microsoft was today. Bethesda was today. Devolver, which I didn't catch. Tomorrow is the PC gaming show in the morning. Ubisoft at 1.
Oh, okay.
Square at 6.
And kind of funny at 4:30, which is basically an indie showcase.
Yep. And then Nintendo is Tuesday morning.
Yep, 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Great.
So I was playing that. Still great. And then I dabbled in because Path of Exile launched a new league.
Oh, okay.
Fired it up again and was playing. And they did a huge revamp to Melee in the game, and I was very curious because that's one of the things that's always bothered me about the game was how Melee felt in it, the animations, what you get. And yeah, it's way better.
Oh, good.
It actually, the way the animations flow and how you can cancel animations to do what you want to do, and they've added better mobility in Melee, makes those builds just feel a lot better. And the league mechanic is generally a lot of fun this time. So play a little bit of that. I don't feel like this is, again, I'm like, I never have to buy another game. I already have every game that I need. Oh, and I played some BattleTech too, because they put out their second DLC.
Oh, nice.
So it's just like I'm like, oh, this is the week where old games are just all updated and give me new content to experience.
That's what summer feels so good about, is like just getting your old games and then getting new stuff for them, like the Assassin's Creed DLC.
Yeah.
Like, they're not really competing with anything. I don't feel like they have to spend a ton of money to put on those DLC updates or whatever. It's low risk for them, perhaps.
So I mean, that's been my gaming week.
For me, Assassin's Creed Odyssey for sure. Beat the first, I think it was this week, I beat the first part of the Hidden Blade DLC and moved from Macedonia to Achai, and just started there, and then decided to do our listeners a service finally and play something else. So I played a few other games this week. I went back to Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. I was on the final level, and I went and beat that. And it's just such a smart, kind of like Castlevania-ish game. I don't know if you've seen it or played it, but basically you have 4 different characters that you meet along the way, and then you can just switch between them on a whim. So like if you're one character and you get hit and you're falling into a pit, you can switch to your to like the Alucard character basically, and turn into your bat form and then fly out of the pit before you die, basically.
Have you ever played a game called Trine?
Yeah.
It's a lot like that, it sounds like.
Yeah, actually that's true. I played Trine a long time ago, but you're right. That's absolutely.
There was Trine and Trine 2. I think there's only been 2 of them.
Right.
And I remember it was like it was
a new one.
3, and you could swap between those characters at any point, and they all had special abilities. And
I think Trine, they were all on the screen at the same time, weren't they?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, they were. Oh, okay.
I believe they weren't. I believe it was you could just swap between them at any given point. I could be wrong though. It's been no, it's only one at a time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's the same mechanic, but some of the effects from the characters, like there's one like a sorcerer character that he puts on a ring of fire around him that basically kills anything that touches him. But then when you put on the ring of fire effect, then you switch to a different character. So you can like put on the ring effect switch to your whip character and have like this really long whip, and then this ring of fire around you as well.
Nice.
So it's kind of, the mixing and matching is fun, and when you die, you just lose that character and you have your last 3 characters. So there's a couple levels where I basically made it to the end with just one character. And then when I died for good, that character died. I had hit a checkpoint, and then all 4 of them kind of respawned, and then it was time to fight the boss or whatever. It was good. I was happy to beat it. It was you beat it, and then you open up like a new challenge mode or whatever. I'm probably never going to touch it again, but it was a really good 4-hour experience. And I moved from that right over to Katana Zero. I'm basically in the mood to like beat games that I've started on my Switch. And man, Katana Zero I haven't played that many games this year, but it's one of the best ones I played this year. Like, it's really well done. Mechanics, it's just basically puzzly a little bit. It's like a action platformer where you've got the sword and it's just one hit, one kill, and you're trying to like dodge bullets, attack enemies. They're in like clear different rooms, and then you're basically kind of clearing the whole screen, and then you can move on to the next screen. But it's pretty complex, so we have to like grab things, throw things, open doors, dodge bullets, all these kind of things. But on top of that, the story is just crazy good. You're kind of just trying to unravel the mystery of like having this dream where like someone busts in, you're a kid, and someone busts in and like shoots your dad or whatever, shoots this adult figure in your life and like goes to attack you as the kid, and you're trying to puzzle out who killed your parental figure, who was coming for you, what kind of bad things did you do in your past, and you're like addicted to this drug. You're trying to like get this drug and trying to figure out who's manufacturing the drug and getting people hooked, and trying to like undo all that and try to undo the mysteries of your past. It's really, 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 really well done. But the thing that I like the most about the game is that it's like a 5 to 6 hour game, and the mechanics are so tight and so good, and you could just do the same thing over and over and over again. But every single level, they add different twists to everything, to your mechanics, to the way the enemies lay out, to enemies you're facing. One level, you play a completely different character. It's never the same. By the time you're done, you just feel like it was just like this really well-paced, evolving gameplay loop that was always fresh. It's a game that I finished and immediately wanted to go back and start again, because it was short, 6 hours, and it just felt great every single second. So that was good. And then I popped on Xbox last night, and I've been hearing a lot about the Outer Wilds.
Yeah.
Which is, if people haven't heard about it, it's basically this game where you're on a planet, and other explorers in your little tribe have gone to other planets nearby in your solar system, and you have to go kind of find them and kind of figure out the mysteries of the solar system, because it's a time loop, and every 20 minutes the sun explodes, and then you start again. And it's not a roguelike, because you're not it's not, how do I explain this? You're not, in some roguelites, I think you're going through and then you're like collecting abilities and things that you can then use or find for your next run.
Yeah.
This is just knowledge. You're not.
Oh no, I mean that's
skills.
that's the traditional roguelike, the original style, like NetHack and Rogue and any of that stuff. Yeah, you do. All you gain is knowledge. Die is dying, and whenever you start again, you start fresh. You have nothing. That's a newer mechanic.
But in those games, the knowledge, do you have to go back and do all those things again?
Yeah.
Okay, this one you don't.
Nothing. In those games, yeah, nothing carries over from game to game.
Right. But what I'm saying is, like, let's say that I haven't played these games, but if you played Rogue, you go through and you gain knowledge to then be able to do those things better or faster the next run, right?
Yes.
Okay, this one's not quite like that. Where once you go to a planet and explore things, you don't have to go back there again.
Okay.
So you're just uncovering like the story of the universe to then, if you find something on one planet and then you use that knowledge to do something on a different planet.
Okay. So there is something that it's still, it's still roguelike, a little bit more of a modern roguelike, but still,
it's a little bit different. It's an interesting take, because I've heard people on podcasts talking about how they just can't stop thinking about the game and how like it's their game of the year so far and all this stuff. And I loaded up and I get it. Like I played for maybe an hour and a half last night before I just fell asleep. I was so tired last night. Kids, man. But now I'm thinking like, well, what's on this planet? And what if I went over there and learned something about the thing over on this area, and I want to go to this new area that I haven't been before? It really kind of just like sticks with me.
So you have to piece together the story in 20-minute chunks, basically.
Yes, exactly. And less than that, actually, because I keep dying. When you die, you obviously reset. So the maximum is 20 minutes. And eventually, I think the goal is that you stop the sun from exploding somehow. It's a really good Game Pass game. Like, I think it's a game that like most people probably wouldn't pick up unless it's on like a steep sale or whatever. Might be a niche game, but because it's in Game Pass and it's just there, I think a lot of people are getting their eyeballs on it, and I think it's worth. And that's all I've been playing this week.
It's still a decent chunk of things.
I know. Now that school's over, I have a little bit of time, which is quite nice. Anything else about E3 or any games you've been playing?
No, I'm ready for tomorrow though. Let's just keep bringing. I love.
Gonna be crazy.
E3 time. I absolutely love it.
Me too. It's so fun. Like when the Microsoft conference was over, I was like, oh man, I was looking so forward to this. Now it's over. It's so fun. It's so great.
It's fun, and then I'm like realized I'm like, oh yeah, I was there last year. God, has it been a year already?
That's exactly my conversation I had with my wife today. I was like, oh, I saw Anthony last year at E3. Last year? Holy shit.
Yep.
Yeah, crazy.
Oh my god.
Well, that was episode 195 of Prof and Dev Play Games. He's at Summerspeak. I'm at Prof Plays Games. We will be back soon, either in a couple days or next Monday, to talk more about E3. Until then, thanks for listening, folks.
Thank you. Later.